So, my name is Pat, and I've been seeing a lot of videos come up on my feed because the algorithm knows I'm thinking of myself as a massive loser. So it feeds me all the videos about people talking about how they're fucking losers. So here we are. But I actually am a loser. I think like the thing about being a loser is it's by your own definition at the end of the day. Even if your definition is curated by social media or the people around you. I've never really had that problem where my that's not true. I have in my youth. I was very much like curated with my values from my social circle. This is before social media. But now I'm not so much like that, and I am feeling like a loser because I'm just not living my own values, right? The things that I know, like I do, like value on a more much larger level than these like impulsive pleasures that I just seem to shovel into me. Most of it's food. Yeah, and I just want to sort of like publicly, in a weird way, but just tell someone. I don't really have anyone to talk to at the moment, but I feel like such a loser. I saw myself in the mirror today, and it's like, yeah, I've just put on so much weight, and when it all catches up with you, and you're just all of a sudden like, I have let myself go. Yeah, I've acted like a complete fucking loser. I've just been a massive drug addict these last like 2 years, just sort of coasting on some inheritance money I've got. Now that's all gone, and I just blew any opportunity to sort of like use that capital to make something much larger with it or change my life in a really positive way. And I didn't. I yeah, I bought a lot of woodworking tools, and I've been still pursuing woodworking and doing that, and that's been the only sort of like area of my life that I've actually managed to put love into. Um, yeah, even if it hasn't been very consistent over the last year, it's been something. But yeah, the rest of it I just blew, and yeah, it's just taking stock. That moment where you have to take stock and go, wow, I'm a fucking loser. What am I doing that's causing this? And what am I going to do to stop doing this? And like, I am like, it's kind of weird. Like, as I'm getting older, I'm definitely noticing like that strong desire to just do, that when you're drawn to something. Like, for me, it was always like, you know, the arts or something. Like, I studied music and I was like really into guitar and music, and then that turned into like exercise science and health and physiology, and then that turned into this woodworking thing. But now it's like these sort of desires have died down a lot, and like they're still there, but it's a different kind of a flame, if that makes any sense. And I can't rely on those to sort of just draw me forward and keep me motivated. And so I really need to just, and I've known I've needed to do this transition for so long. Seriously, since I was like 28. I'm 34 now, but it's that inkling, and I haven't addressed it. I've been such a little bitch about it, honestly. Like I've just I've just known it's there, and I haven't addressed it. I know. And now it's just gotten way worse than it ever needed to be. Although I still have to be grateful. I do live in Australia, and it's like, even as, someone who's like, living paycheck to paycheck, I still live like a king. Like, I eat great food. I have a nice house. There's cool people around me, sort of. Not that many people, but there are some cool ones. And, that's living like a king at the end of the day. But it's still like, on a personal level, it's also kind of just like, I'm totally throwing away any potential I have. Oh, and it just feels good to acknowledge that, honestly. you know. I get really, really overwhelmed by like having to sort of figure out and like quantify and measure like progress in all the areas of life. In like a video game, it's just presented to you. It's like make number go up, right? It's very obvious, that part of it, right? And I'm just so abysmally bad at like maintaining and organizing and those kind of things. It's like definitely, just not a strong suit of my personality. I'm like much, much more inclined to just that creative fever. Um, you know, probably got ADD, probably all that kind of stuff. Hoo-ha. I don't like to put labels on that kind of thing because at the end of the day, it's just like, this is just the way my brain's functioning and stuff. And like, I need to learn ways to deal with this rather than just try and ignore it. Yeah, there's no real point to this video, I suppose. It's just merely to just express all that. But I guess, yeah, I guess if anyone else is out there, because I'm going to title this something like, being a loser at 34 or whatever. I see a lot of all these videos I watched. I see them like the reality is like, yeah, it's like, if you're 34 or in your 30s or whatever, like chances are you're probably not going to be like some fucking world class athlete or something, unless you've already got 20 years of skill development in those areas. But it doesn't mean you can't like yeah, it does. I still feel like despite all the like self-pity I want to tell myself, when I look around and I see all these freaking 18-year-old kids or like to fucking 50, 60, 70-year-old people, and like there's such like crazy transformations no matter who they are and what walks of life they come from, that they can go from like, certain areas of what seems like hopelessness to like, all their wildest dreams coming true. Um, and especially when I think a lot of the people out there, a lot of blokes like me, like we're not trying to, like we don't want the whole world to like know our name and be the coolest guy and like some famous actor or some like massive important cultural figure. It's like I know a lot of people would just be super happy with like a job that pays enough, which is like a bit of a thing these days, isn't it? Apparently, like a bit of a challenge these days, I should say. Even if you are like well educated, but like and a job that pays well enough, a nice place to live, and like good people to be around, and a good relationship, and it's like that's still doable. It's still a doable thing. I need to like me personally. I guess that's something worth talking about, dating and stuff. It's like, I've been actually, because I'm pretty like proactive, in case you can't tell, like I do take action on things, but like even when I've been dating and stuff, it's like, I feel like a loser. Like I'm 6'1" and like, when I actually shave and stuff, I'm like, good looking and I can talk confidently. So I tend to attract girls in a sense, but as soon as it gets to that point where it's like, you're trying to like probe to see if this person is actually like going to be a reliable person, it's like, they see through it. Everyone, I don't even try and hide it, honestly. I like, go, yeah, I am a loser. Well, not a loser, but like, I'm not living my values. I don't feel like the kind of person that I want to be in a relationship. And so that's sort of something that is actually going to be way more beneficial to get that feeling of going, I'm happy to participate in a relationship with who I am, and as opposed to just getting into a relationship at all costs. Whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm literally just ranting. But I'm going to post this. No one's going to see it. And if someone sees this, yeah, don't listen to all the bullshit self-pity, all the negative crap going on out there. Like, the fact is, like, unless you're in really fucked up situation, you know, we can still create a life worth living, you know?